Hello everybody, welcome back. This is episode number 18. Wow, we're getting through them now, aren't we? Episode number 18 of the Vanarama YouTube Football Manager 2018 experiment with Celtic and Rangers in the English League. Now they've climbed from the Vanarama into the Championship. As we say, Celtic have been in the Premier League. This is as high as Rangers have gone. Now those of you who watched the last episode will remember that Celtic and Rangers were both sitting in a playoff spot. As of the 30th of November. The picture has changed a little bit. Rangers have fallen down into 13th, but as you can see, it's incredibly tight. I'd say as far down as 16th, you could potentially see a playoff push. Looking at the difference in points, there's 8 points of a difference between 6th and 16th, so it's increasingly close. Celtic look like they may cement themselves a playoff place because looking at the top two spots, I think them two have pretty much got it sewn up, except Leeds may have something to say about it in future matches. But if Celtic and Rangers recruit correctly, or if they have recruited correctly during the January transfer window, then I believe that they may both have an opportunity to go up. But Rangers sitting in 13th have fallen away from it. They'd won 10 games, they've only won 2 since. Drawn 5, so they've lost a hatful of games since then. But they're still in with a shade of a playoff spot. Let's look at Celtic first. What kind of business are they doing? They're still rich, so that means they haven't spent, well, they may not have spent much. They brought in one player, and it's a big signing. It's Jared Bowen from Crystal Palace. Now, they've taken a top right winger who's 29 years old. Maybe they're looking at one last sort of push. A player that's going to help take them over the line. Taking a player from Crystal Palace to play for them. I wonder, did he play many games for Crystal Palace this season? So he's been a key member of the Crystal Palace team. A very key member, scoring 11 goals in 18 games from the right wing position. So, in my opinion, I think he used to play for Celtic before. Well. It's a turn up for the books, isn't it? He was with Celtic in League 2 and League 1 before being sold on to Brighton for a loss to the Premier League. That's strange. Then Brighton sold him on to Ruben Kazan, and he was brought back to England by Crystal Palace, and now he's rejoined Celtic 44 Welsh caps later. As far as sales are concerned, David Donald to a promotion rival, but some meaningless sort of transfers there. So that's what Celtic have done. What have the mighty Rangers done? I think they're the ones who need it the most. So they brought in one player, Mark Hill from Sheffield Wednesday. Central midfielder. Can't imagine he's going to make a massive difference to them. And they haven't really let anybody go either. So Rangers may miss out for their lack of business. Celtic have made a statement of intent with a big signing. Maybe he's the kind of player that'll turn the draws into wins. Because they've only lost 4 games all season, which is pretty impressive. Rangers have now lost 12. They went from doing well to doing poorly. So they've got the players here. Let's see if they can turn it round. Celtic included. Can Celtic push for one of those top 2 spots? I mean, it's not impossible. It's just improbable now. 12 points away. It's highly unlikely. But we'll soon see. I say, I'm quite eager to see the end of this season. I'm quite eager to see how they both finish. So, how about we just go there and see? I'll see you guys at the end of the season. But actually, before I do that, sorry, I haven't looked at any of the Cup progress. Now, 4th round replay against Brighton in the FA Cup. Carabao Cup must have won out. 4th round, home to Wolves. That was Celtic in the Cups. Rangers in the Cups. So, started off, Carabao Cup went out on penalties to Middlesbrough at home, unfortunately. In the 4th round, they dove out, and they fell out of the FA Cup 3rd round as well. So, no Cups, except for Celtic are still in it with a replay against Brighton. Rangers are out of the Cup, so they can focus solely on the Championship. Let's see how they do. we'll go to the end of the season now, and I mean it this time. I'll see you guys there. Okay then, guys, May 31st. I didn't want to show you who went up. Well, you can see from the holders, Crystal Palace, that they went up because they won the division. Yeah, there it is. Unfortunately, none of them went up. Celtic finished in 3rd and lost in the playoff final. Rangers finished in 9th, which is a good return really, but they're taking the right steps. They wanted to finish in the top 6. They were 7 points shy of the playoffs, but they finished in a better position than they did last time. I think they finishing on 70 points with 20 wins in 46. That is a good return for them, and unfortunately 22 wins in 46 was decent, but 18 draws. That's what held Celtic back, was the draws again. They lost the least amount of games by a long stretch, being held to too many draws. Probably because of having the bus parked in front of their attack every single game. So Rangers missing out, Celtic losing 3-2 in the final of the playoffs. And as this, I think it may load up with some match stats. I'd like to see how they did, but no, it's not going to give me any match stats. Oh, there it is. Fucking dickhead. There you go. Celtic were massively the better team. Leeds scoring all 3 shots on target. Celtic only putting in 2 of 8 on target. So it's the Celtic goalkeeper, unfortunately, that's let them down on that one. So there we have it. Another season done. Season 9, maybe season 10 could be the one that both go into the Premier League. Undecided on whether past season 10 it's worth carrying this on. If either one of them get promoted into the Premier League, then I may as well carry on for another couple of seasons. Because it's an experiment and not a series, not a proper series. I don't see the point of carrying on when it's going to be the same results, and it is becoming somewhat stagnant at the moment. But what can I say? I really hope one of them get in the Premier League so we can keep this going, because I am enjoying it. But I think it's time to go and look at the Scottish League now before I overkill the Sky Bet Championship. It is going to be Sky Bet Championship again next season. Scottish League, over to you. So, a turn for the Bucks and Barrow are relegated into the Ladbrokes League 1, which was quite surprising because we thought they may be pushing for a promotion. So, yeah, really, really disappointing for Barrow as they slip to the Ladbrokes League 1. Let's have a look at the Ladbrokes Premiership. Gateshead, though, different story with them. They've survived for another season. 6 points clear of the relegation playoff, which Motherwell lost and went down as it goes. The league winners, again, Aberdeen. So Aberdeen are taking away the superiority in the Scottish League from Hibs. How did Aberdeen get on in the Champions League? Now, the Champions League, they qualified for. Now, this, I don't think it's happened yet. I don't think any of them have actually got into the group stages, where they had Napoli, Sporting Lisbon and Paris Saint-Germain. And quite unsurprisingly, they've lost all games so far. Yep. Losing all games, falling straight out of Europe altogether. But getting into that at all would have filled their bank account full of an awful lot of money. So their finances are now secure, and they have a pretty decent reputation now as well for playing in the Champions League. So could the superiority could it have shifted completely in Aberdeen's favour now? Maybe so. We are going to check one more thing before we go. We know Celtic were in the FA Cup. Let's see if they actually pushed on and actually did well in that cup. Let's go and have a look. Okay, so at the point they'd won the FA Cup 3rd round, 4th round they went out in the replay. How underwhelming! But here's a stat to show you guys, and I don't think it would be the case in real life. But the Ladbrokes Premiership is now of a higher standard than the Sky Bet Championship. So at the beginning, the Ladbrokes Premiership was sitting in 16th, and within one season jumped straight up to 13th. Maybe it was because it was a lot more excitement around it because of, well, between 2020 to 2021. So it only goes back as far as 2020, unfortunately. But it's been up as high as 13th. It's now in 14th. Dropped down to as poorly as 19th. The Sky Bet Championship, on the other hand, now, would you really have ever thought the Ladbrokes Premiership was a more popular league than the Sky Bet Championship? Now, I think that the very best players that come through the Ladbrokes Premiership end up in the Championship. Or obviously some of them end up in the Premier League. The very better Scottish players end up in the Premier League, but a lot of good Scottish players who look to take themselves to the next level tend to end up either at Celtic and Rangers or in the Sky Bet Championship. So I would have never thought the Ladbrokes Premiership would have ever been of a higher reputation than the Championship. So the fact that that's sitting there 9 seasons after taking Celtic and Rangers 8 is the fact that it's now an open playing field drawn more excitement to the league, because no one seems to know exactly what's going to happen, because you see Hibs winning the league or Aberdeen winning the league every season, but they don't seem to do it by a massive amount of points. So other teams tend to always be in with a shade winning that league. So certainly not going to be the fact that Barrow and Gateshead were in it or anything like that, but the only difference is taking Celtic and Rangers 8 has made the Scottish League, like I say, a much more open kind of league. So I don't know. Maybe it's an interesting part of the experiment, to be honest with you. Is the advancement of the Premiership or the demise of the Ladbrokes Premiership? So it's an interesting one. But as it stands, Celtic, Rangers, both still in the Championship for next season as we go into season 10. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you're finding the series good, as I ask you every single episode, but always got to say the usual stuff at the end. Like I say, I hope you're enjoying it still, and hopefully it's not to the point where it's becoming stagnant, and hopefully at least one of them will get promoted next year. We need one of them back in the Premier League to want to keep this going. So any objections to ending it after next season, if none of them go up, just feel free to leave me a cheeky little comment. All the comments and likes tend to help the page really, really well. So I'd really like some feedback on that. But guys, thank you very much again. And until the next time, cheerio for now.